The trophy is easy to understand. The harder question is what you become after nobody is watching and there is nothing shiny left to hold. Welcome back. This part of Can't Hurt Me shifts the focus from military pressure to endurance, performance, and a strange emptiness of external rewards. Goggins is not against achievement. He is clearly not allergic to difficult goals. But he keeps returning to a harsher idea. The point is not the trophy. The point is the mind you build while chasing something difficult. That matters because trophies can be misleading. They look final. They suggest completion. They create a nice photograph. But a trophy cannot do the next hard thing for you. It cannot wake you up, control your fear, discipline your attention, or rescue you when life stops being cinematic. A trophy is evidence of a moment. Goggins is more interested in the operating system created by the work. And it's not about a trophy. Endurance becomes a private ceremony. The public sees the finish line. The person inside the event experiences the long argument. Pain asks questions. Fatigue asks questions. Doubt asks very repetitive questions, like a terrible customer service chatbot. The race becomes a place where the mind is forced to reveal what it believes. The useful lesson is that hard goals should not be reduced to the visible prize. If the only reason to suffer is applause, then suffering will feel like a bad bargain when applause is late, small, or missing. But if the reason is to build proof inside yourself, then the suffering has a different role. It becomes training material. This is why Goggins is drawn to challenges that seem excessive. They expose the hidden contract most people have with comfort. We tell ourselves we want growth, but we often mean growth with climate control. We want discipline, but preferably the kind that does not interfere with snacks, sleep, or our emotional support scrolling. Goggins keeps choosing situations where the contract burns up. The most powerful weapon makes the argument more explicit. The mind is the weapon, not because it magically deletes pain, but because it decides what pain means. Two people can experience the same discomfort and assign different meanings to it. One hears, "Stop, this proves you cannot." The other hears, "Continue, this is the place where the old limit gets tested." That meaning-making power is enormous. It explains why preparation matters. It explains why the cookie jar idea appears in the book, where past victories become evidence you can pull from when the present moment feels impossible. The mind needs proof. When it starts panicking, it needs receipts. Goggins also shows that the mind can be trained through deliberate friction. You build a mental database by doing things that are hard enough to count. Then, when a new challenge arrives, you are not starting from zero. You can say, "I have suffered before. I have adapted before. I have finished before." That does not make the new challenge easy. It makes it less mysterious. This part is also where the book becomes more than a story about physical endurance. The body is the visible battlefield, but the principle applies elsewhere. A business failure, a creative project, a health change, a difficult exam, a damaged relationship, or a long recovery can all become arenas where the mind is either trained or excused. The trap is chasing symbols instead of capacity. A title, promotion, medal, or public result can make a person look strong without making them prepared for the next difficulty. Goggins is chasing something more portable. Capacity travels. A trained mind goes with you into the next room. That is the value of this section. It asks the viewer to stop measuring hard things only by the reward at the end. The better question is, what did this demand from me? And what did it build in me? If the answer is nothing, maybe the trophy was expensive decoration. If the answer is resilience, focus, and self-respect, then the trophy was never the main event. By the end of this part, the book has redefined achievement. Winning is not only crossing a line. Winning is becoming the kind of person who can keep moving when the line moves, disappears, or stops impressing anyone. Thank you for watching. Next, Goggins turns to talent, elite standards, and what it means to become uncommon even among people who are already uncommon. The final thought here is simple. Applause fades quickly, but a trained mind keeps paying rent.